What's up, Mantees? How are we doing? I am one of your co-hosts, Haylie McCleney, joined by my bestie.
Sam Fischer. Hey, what's up, Halo?
Man, what is up? I would do like a phenomenal intro for our incredible guest that we have today, but we are doing like a little we're just getting into conference play in the college season. Softball season is in full swing. So we are actually we're your special guests today. It's truly the Sam and Halo show today, which is absolutely incredible. And since we're in the swing of things, full pun intended there,
As you should.
we're gonna talk some mental health and just being in season and how that's good, how that's bad, and how we can get you in a great mental space.
I thought that was a really good intro.
Thanks.
You're welcome. We're the guests and the hosts today, but
We wear a lot of hats around here, visors.
yeah, you do
Yeah.
look good in a hat. I cannot if it was to save my life, could not look good in a hat.
But the bun doesn't fit.
No,
So-
this head was built for a visor.
It was truly.
I love the idea of talking about mental health all the time, but I think this is a really good timing piece where mental health looks different depending on where you're at in what you're doing in your life, right? Like
Totally.
a month into season, a little over a month, conference play starting, you're inching closer and closer to, the goal of Oklahoma City for all these schools. And what do you think like is the biggest thing as you start this conference play? Do you feel like there's a different type of pressure to win?
It depends, right? And so, like, I think a lot of where teams, and especially like on the individual side of athletes are at right now is like, you're at the point in your season where things have gone better than you had planned, or things have gone way worse than you had planned.
Good point.
And so, how are you resetting your mindset? I think like every week is super important because no matter what, softball is so just. It is literally a game of like life because you really have to ride the wave. You can't get too high. You can't get too low.
Yeah.
You can't expect everything to go according to plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like plan A never happens. Plan B rarely happens. It's usually somewhere around C, D, E, F, G, all the way down to Z, right? Is what reality actually is. So I think you just have to have a really open mindset of like, this is the situation we're in. Maybe, we're not ranked as high as we thought we were going to be. No one's picking us to make it to Oklahoma City, or, maybe you're exceeding expectations. And then all of a sudden, like I think of a South Carolina, right? And no knock on South Carolina.
Right.
Because
No,
I do think they are great. But riding an undefeated high, going into Oklahoma, getting swept, very competitive games.
Yeah.
And then dropping a midweek to Coastal Carolina, it's like, you're on top of the world. We're undefeated. No one expected us to be here. And now it's like, oh, wait, okay. Like, bring it back down to reality, reset, and then keep going. That's a lot easier said than done, but you really have to ride the wave with this sport that we love and sometimes hate.
We love it so much, and it hurts us so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really does. It hurts. It hurts a lot.
It sure does. And I think you bring up such a good point of like the highs and the lows, because the way that I've been able to help myself think, because I am what they call an overthinker / overanalyzer. It is what it is. I was born like that. But looking at things in like bite-sized chunks, right? The old saying, like, how do you eat an elephant, right? It's one bite at a time. So I think of things like this where you go in and it's literally one at bat at a time. It's one game at a time, right? You look back and like South Carolina is a great example where it's like 19 wins in a row, an undefeated season. It's like, okay, game 20 is only game 20. Those 19 didn't matter, right? So I think for me personally, thinking of things like that in like bite-sized chunks, I could have had the worst at bat of my entire existence in my first at bat. But then my second at bat, it's like, oh my God, this is actually brand new. Like it doesn't, I think what's really cool about our sport is that there's things that it doesn't necessarily need to carry over. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And that I think is hard because your terrible at bat really was only 20 minutes ago. So
no, 1000%. Like one thing that Coach Murphy always said when I was in school, and I carry it with me to this day, is just be where your feet are.
oh
Like you can't, no matter what, good or bad. I think a lot of people say that when they're in a slump. It's just like, okay, we'll focus on this at bat. Like you're one hit away from breaking out of its slump. Just be present and be where your feet are. But the same goes when you're hitting 1,000
100%.
and you're expected to be the national player of the year. Like it's not, I think so many kids, especially nowadays, it's so easy to get wrapped up in, well, I want to be the best player ever, or I want to be, the leadoff batter. I want to be like the best player on my team, an All-American, yada, 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 all these awards and whatever. And it's like, you don't just come by that like accidentally. It's deliberate and consistent action day after day, being consistent no matter what, and never being satisfied with the result either way.
Yeah.
Just remember that on both sides. Like show up every single day the same way as best you possibly can, and that's what's going to move the needle.
The pipeline to the women's national team.
HPP has helped me find a new identity in like who I am as a player. It's helped show how hard work pays off, and it's really got me excited for the future of our game, the future for me, the future for my fellow athletes, and for what I strive to do in the future in college and then potentially with USA softball in the future.
Was so nice. I love that. And it goes into some of the conversations about, like you said, where it's like you could be in a slump, you could be hitting 1,000, where people have a fear of failure, but there's also a fear of success. Because when you're doing that good, it's like, well, I got to keep doing this good. I got to keep doing it like this, where it's like what exactly you just said, be where your feet are, and one at bat at a time, one pitch at a time. That's, I think, something that we've talked about consistently over the years as we kind of climb each level, where good hitters might make adjustments game to game, great hitters at bat to at bat, elite hitters pitch to pitch, where it's like when you step up, and that has nothing to do with your physical skill. That has everything to do with your mental skill. Of like pitch to pitch. Okay, what can I can think of times where I'm how many times have I watched you in an at bat where you have foul off a pitch, and after that you step out and I can tell, I can see you doing what you need to do to not foul it off the next time and to stroke a double. So like you can see that brain working, where it's like, okay, whatever, I missed it. Okay, here's how I'm going to go after it the next time I see it. And I just think that's so cool.
Yeah, I could say the same for you. I mean, like hitting at a professional level is really, really hard. Like hitting at a college level, Division I level, really hard. Pitchers are very good, and hitting is, I still think, the hardest thing to do across all of sports.
It's so hard.
But the mindset of like being in the box, knowing you're going up against someone really good, and having that shift of like, okay, I know you're good, I respect you're good, but I dare you to throw it to me again. I dare you, like, give me your best stuff. Like you can fool me once, you're not going to fool me twice. I'm gonna make an adjustment. I'm gonna see it. I see what you're doing. I see how you're trying to get me out. Just try me. Like I dare you. And that's one thing that I think I've seen a lot of this season so far, a little bit more than I've seen in recent years, where I just feel like there's so many more competitive at bats from people just digging into the box and being like, okay, like let's go.
Yeah.
I don't care how long it takes.
Right. Oh, I do love a battle. Right.
Love a battle.
That's it's funny because I can think of an at bat that I had at LMU. My coach Gary, he was kind of a hands-off coach, but when he gave a little nugget, you're like, oh dang, he's right. I had an at bat where he wanted me to bunt, and I missed it horribly. Like, and it was a good pitch to bunt, and I was just like, what are you doing? And then he's like, all right, fine, hit. And then I swing and miss at a ball in the dirt, obviously. So now I'm down 0-2, and you know how when those at bats go like that, where you're like, I can't do anything right. In 2 pitches, I'm telling myself I can't do anything right. And he looks at me from third base and he goes, hit a home run. Just hit a home run. And I was like, okay, Gary. Okay. I hit a home run to right center field. And I'm rounding the bases, and he's looking at me and he's like, in that moment, I know exactly what he was trying to do, where he's like, I know you can do it. Just do it. Obviously, it's not that easy, people. I lucked out. She missed on an 0-2 pitch.
I wish that was easy. I wish it was that easy.
Right? Just hit a home run. But like the confidence, I think, of saying something like that to me, of like, yeah, did you see the interview with Alana Marr?
Yes.
Did I say her name right?
I think so.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Sorry, Alana, if it's not right.
I know. So we love you. We love you so much. We just call you Queen over here. So
Queen.
So a female interviewer asked her about imposter syndrome. Did you see this interview?
Incredible.
And I like the brain chemistry, right? Where she's like, I don't have that. Like, I worked hard. I earned this. I'm good. And that's something I think when we talk about mental health in our sport specifically, because of all the failure, it's like, it's actually okay to totally believe in yourself and to totally
1,000%.
be like, I can hit a home run 0-2, whatever. And
absolutely. Absolutely. 1,000,000,000,000%. Oh. And I love that you brought that up, because it's not the media response that you're used to seeing, I think, from a lot of, I think this is where male and female athletes kind of differ a little bit, because you always see this, like, you want to present yourself as humble, like you don't want to, and I think women kind of knock themselves down a little bit, because it's like, well, I'm just going to be like a little, realistic or pessimistic or whatever it is. But it's like, if you've put in the work and you've put in the time and you are good at what you do, show up and act like it. Get in the box and act like it. Get in the circle and act like it. Play shortstop like it. Play center field like it. Your confidence comes from your preparation. We're not telling you to go out here and be delusional.
Right.
Okay?
No, realistic.
But the proof is also in the pudding.
Yeah.
And that confidence comes from years and years of consistent work day after day.
Yeah. Because in a response like that, where she didn't have to think about it, right? She just immediately was like, oh, I don't have that. Like, I've worked hard. I've earned it, right?
Period. Yeah.
That, you don't have to force yourself into that. There's times like what you're saying, like, let's not be delusional, right? Where the work that you're putting in and the results that you see because of the work that you put in, and that kind of cyclical thing, it just is natural, where you're like, oh no, like I just know I'm good. I'm just good at what I do. I'm really good at my sport, period.
Yeah. I'm good. I trust my stuff. I trust the work that I've put in, and I know it's all going to work out for me in the end.
At Higginbotham, we put people first. Our specialists are here to serve you, the people you care about, and your success. Insurance, HR, and financial services. Inspired by you.
What's meant to be is always going to find its way.
You
can't force it. I think that's another, completely different rabbit hole we could go down for, 20,000 minutes.
Yeah,
of,
easily.
I see kids all the time, and maybe you see this too, where it's like, I want it so bad. Like, I believe I'm so good. And they're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole of forcing themselves to be great.
Yeah.
Let your process be your process. And if your process does what your process is supposed to do, greatness is going to find you. You don't have to actively go out and force it to happen. You can't force it to happen, especially in our sport where so much stuff is outside of your control. You can go 0 for your next 10 and be in a slump, but you can hit 10 absolute lasers just right at the shortstop.
Literally.
0 for 10, batting average 0. And no one's talking about you.
Right.
But your process is great.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny too when you really think about it. We joked about this summer. We're like, does the process know that we're trusting it?
Does it know?
Like, we're trusting you, please. Where part of, I think, sports in general, and probably just living, is truly things aren't as immediate as you would think. Like, you think about, going on your phone and you want to know a stat. You ask Siri tells you in 10 seconds or less. So you're just used to that instant gratification that we've kind of become accustomed to. But in this,
no,
there's so much that you have to do. It's like, there's a good cartoon of a carrot, right? Where you have the big leaves that are coming out, and then that's the carrot that the person is like, that's a big carrot, right? And the guy next to it, this is a really bad example. I'm not doing a good job. I hope I'm visualizing.
It's great. It's
and then
great.
the little rabbit next to him has little tiny leaves, but what you don't see under the ground is how big the carrot is on the little leaves.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, like keep watering, keep doing what you're doing, because like the carrots actually are really big.
Yeah.
But
keep watering your carrots.
Keep watering your carrots. I don't really like carrots, I won't lie, but it's really good for. Yeah, I love vegetables, but carrots I just haven't gotten on board.
No, not in the top for me.
Unless I just drench them in ranch, which kind of defeats the purpose.
Hummus is good too. Carrots and hummus is not. You got to get a big old scoop of hummus though. So again, like I don't know if that like defeats the purpose.
It's like mostly hummus. The other thing that I saw, I think it was a cartoon. Also, What's With Me, is that to get good at something, first you kind of got to suck at it.
Yeah,
like
1000%.
You gotta kind of hold the bat wrong first, because then you know how to hold it right. You gotta, I think that's such a big part of it, where it's like going from sucking at something to being elite. They're not neighbors.
No, not at all. You can't just like swipe right and be like, oh yeah, I'm like the best in the world now.
Yeah,
you can't do that. But that's what social media, and I think just how we hype up athletes so much, and rightfully so. Like, you want it, obviously, and it's right in front of you, and it looks on TV, and it looks so effortless.
Yeah,
but you don't see all of the social media and TV and broadcast and all that stuff. Those are highlights.
Yeah,
it's not reality. Like, you've got to go through a lot of stuff to be able to get to that level, and if you accept that and accept where you're at, like in your current situation, that makes it a lot easier. Like, you can't compare yourself if you're a 16-year-old kid and you're trying to get recruited and you're comparing yourself to Maya Brady.
Right.
Stop.
Yeah. Stop that.
Stop.
You stop it.
Like, honestly, like, cut it out. You're not there yet. You can be, but like it goes back to the point of be where your feet are. Like, what's your process? What's your journey? Don't get to, and if you need to mute people on social media, then mute them.
Do that.
Like, if it's not, do that. Like, if it's not good for you to see all of this stuff, or you're one of your teammates, or even like a girl on a team that you're rivals with or something, and she's got 55 Division I offers and you've got 0, like, maybe just don't look at her stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know. Ignorance is bliss sometimes. Stop comparing yourself.
Yeah,
water your carrot, not someone else's carrot.
Yeah, just water your carrot. If the leaves are small, it's okay. Your carrot can be really big.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
It's important.
That was really good. I wish that you could drop your mic, because let's just imagine that you've dropped it, because that was so good and so important to hear. And I think, I don't know, for those who like to read, Derek Jeter has a book. He was a shortstop for this little team called the Yankees. But
we love Derek Jeter. We'll see you at some AUSL games this summer, bud.
Yeah, you could throw out a first pitch if you want. But
we'll catch it.
When he was little, 7 years old, he went to his parents and was like, I want to be a Yankee. And what I think what's important too, and speaking to the parents in this, is that they didn't say, sure, you can be a Yankee. Let's be a Yankee. They said, okay, I love this, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and sacrifice to get there. And we're going to have to put the work in. You don't just get it because you want it.
Right.
And so I think that is something that I just, parents, you guys are around your kids more than your coaches, more than their teammates, more than their friends, like helping them to understand that the process knows we're trusting it,
Yes, absolutely.
And that there's steps to get to places, and that it's very natural. Sometimes you fall down a couple of steps too. And it's like, okay, that's cool. How do we get back up to where we were and then keep going?
Yeah. It's like that beautiful like failure graph. It's like you're always kind of trending upward, but then you're up, down, down. That, you ride that wave. And I love that point you brought up. This reminds me of a conversation I had with our dear friend, Amanda Chittister, friend of the program.
Bless.
We had probably a 3-hour conversation just on goals.
I believe it.
Just in general. Like, and the way her brain works is just absolutely incredible. We should have her back on. Okay. But like, to your point, like, I want to play for the New York Yankees. Like, awesome. And it's like, okay, what are the baby step goals that are going to set us up for success to be able to be there? Like, I've got to make my junior high team. I've got to make my high school team, right? I got to jump from JV to varsity, or like whatever that looks like. Don't you begin with the end in mind, but don't try to skip all the steps in between, because there's so many lessons to be learned in that process.
That was so good.
We should have Woody back on.
We should have old Chid back on.
Our first repeat guest.
Yeah, no, she needs to be back. She's just the best.
Just drops those nuggets all the time.
And thank you. I know that this is like a short and sweet and little bonus episode for this week. But these things are so important. Like, it's more than just hitting and fielding and throwing and trying to steal. It's all
in between.
It's all up in the dome.
Yeah. What's that Yogi Bear quote? Like 90% of the game is half mental or something.
Exactly.
Can you guys tell we're Yankee fans?
Oh my God, we have a problem. I got Aaron Judge's somewhere up here. But yeah, Bantees, thanks for joining us. We love you guys so much. And if we ever get to do these little nuggets again, like, we want to know situations that you guys are going through. Tell us what you want to hear. Maybe we've got so many examples of things that we've had to go through that have been related to our mental health. So
yes,
just keep chatting with us. We're extremely available.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep chatting with us and keep trusting the process, because the process does know that you're trusting it. It knows. So keep trusting it. It's all going to be good.
On that note, we love you.
XOXO. At this time, we would like to thank the USA Softball Store at usasoftballstore.com for our amazing gear this week. You guys can have the exact same gear that Samu and I have literally right now if you go to usasoftballstore.com. So go literally right now, and you can use code BHB15 right now and get 15% off your entire purchase. So buy a lot of stuff, get that 15%, let it all go to use. usasoftballstore.com. Again, that code is BHB15.